Hello friends. The Social Security Administration does not apply the same rules to everyone. Depending on the specific program you are enrolled in, the exact type of benefits you receive, and your current employment status, your deadlines are different, your payment schedules are different, and the mistakes that can permanently disrupt your healthcare or your monthly income are completely different. And right now, going into August 2026, there are people in every one of these groups who are either panicking over misinformation, missing their medications, or about to make an irreversible enrollment mistake simply because nobody sat down and explained what the rules actually are for their specific situation. Today, I'm going to do exactly that. Find your group, listen to what applies to you, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to check and what to do about it. Before we get into the groups, if you are not subscribed to this channel, please do that right now and turn on the bell. Here is why it genuinely matters. The rules around Social Security and Medicare change constantly. Payment schedules shift, banking contractors get swapped out, enrollment periods close, and when these things happen, the relevant agencies do not personally call you or send you a clear explanation. They change the policy, update a hidden web page, and expect you to already know. What I do on this channel is take those changes, break them down by what they actually mean for your specific situation, and get that information to you before the deadlines pass and before the mistakes are already made. Every group I am covering today has something specific happening right now in August 2026 that affects them directly. The people who are subscribed here find out about these things in time to act. The ones who are not tend to find out after. After the payment is delayed, after the health insurance is cancelled, after the money is already gone. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's get into it. Group 1 consists of people receiving Supplemental Security Income, commonly known as SSI. This is the need-based program administered by Social Security for individuals who have limited income, have limited resources, and are blind, age 65 or older, or have a qualifying disability. Right now, there is a massive wave of social media videos and AI-generated articles claiming that if you are in this group, you are receiving a special bonus or a double payment for the month of August. That is completely false, and if you budget your life expecting a sudden windfall, you are going to find yourself short on rent or groceries. Here is exactly what is actually happening. SSI payments are legally scheduled to be issued on the first day of every single month. However, there is a strict rule. If the first of the month falls on a weekend or a federal holiday, the Treasury Department does not delay your money until Monday. They send the payment on the last business day of the previous month instead. In 2026, August 1st falls on a Saturday. Because of that calendar reality, the August payment is being advanced to Friday, July 31st. If you are an individual filer receiving the absolute maximum SSI amount, you will see a deposit of $994 on July 31st. If you are a couple filing jointly and receiving the maximum, that amount is $1,491. This is your normal August money. It is not extra. It is not a stimulus. It is not a bonus. If you spend that July 31st deposit thinking another check is coming in August, you will have absolutely zero SSI income for the next 31 days. You are still receiving exactly 12 payments for the year 2026, just on a slightly shifted schedule. The single most important thing people in this group can do right now is ignore the hype, look at your bank account on July 31st, verify that your standard amount of up to $994 has cleared, and budget that money to last entirely through the month of August until your September payment arrives on Tuesday, September 1st. Group 2 involves a much smaller but highly vulnerable segment of beneficiaries. Those who do not use traditional bank accounts for direct deposit and instead rely on the Direct Express debit card system to receive their federal benefits. If you use a Direct Express card, there is a massive back-end transition happening right now in 2026 that you need to be actively monitoring. For years, the financial agent that managed these cards and handled your money was Comerica Bank. The government has officially ended that relationship and formed a new partnership with Fifth Third Bank, which is now replacing Comerica as the financial agent for all Direct Express cards. If you currently hold a card with the Comerica logo on the front, you do not need to panic and you do not need to throw it away. That card remains fully functional until you are explicitly sent a replacement. However, As the new Fifth Third bank cards are mailed out to millions of beneficiaries, a critical technological divide is happening. If you have the old Cumrica card, you must continue using the legacy Direct Express mobile app. If you try to download the brand new app with your old card, it will not work, and you might think your account is locked. Conversely, once your new Fifth Third card arrives in the mail, you must download the newly updated Direct Express app for iOS or Android, or log in through their new secure portal to set your 4-digit PIN. If you receive a new card in the mail this August, you must activate it immediately. Your federal benefits will automatically be loaded onto the new account on your scheduled payment day, and if you have not activated the new Fifth Third card, you will not have access to your funds. This also affects which ATMs you can use completely free of charge, as the ATM network depends strictly on which bank issued the card in your hand. Check the front of your card today. If it says Cumrica, monitor your mail closely over the next few weeks for a plain envelope containing your new Fifth Third replacement, and make sure your current mailing address is 100% accurate on file with Social Security so your new card doesn't get mailed to an old apartment. Group 3 is for people currently applying for disability or retirement who are facing severe, immediate financial crises, specifically, those facing active eviction or utility shutoffs in extreme heat. The Social Security Administration has mechanisms called expedited payments, specifically the emergency advance payment and the immediate payment. If you are approved for disability but the final processing is delayed, or if your regular check was lost and you have a 5-day pay or quit notice from your landlord, the local office has the authority to issue you funds immediately to prevent you from becoming homeless. In the past, the local office would print a physical paper check right there in the building using an outdated computer system. That is changing. As the agency aggressively moves away from paper checks, these emergency funds are transitioning to immediate issue debit cards. If you walk into a local office this August facing a verified dire need situation, do not expect them to hand you a physical check that you can take to your local bank to cash. They will issue you a prepaid debit card loaded with the exact approved emergency amount. This card can be used anywhere debit MasterCard is accepted, or you can take it to an ATM or a bank teller to pull the cash out. If you are in this situation, you cannot simply call the 1-800 number and demand an immediate payment. You must go down to your local Social Security office in person. If you do not have an appointment, the contracted security guards at the door, who work for the Federal Protective Service, not the SSA, might try to turn you away. You must explicitly use the phrase dire need. Tell the guard, calmly and directly, I am in a dire need situation. I have an active eviction notice, my benefits are delayed, and I need to request an immediate payment to avoid homelessness. That specific terminology triggers internal protocols that force them to let you speak to a claim specialist. Bring your eviction notice, bring your utility shutoff notice, and be prepared to leave with a loaded debit card rather than a paper check. Group 4 affects anyone aged 65 or older who is currently working or recently stopped working and is trying to navigate the transition into Medicare Part B. Right now, in August 2026, the administrative delays at Social Security, which processes Medicare enrollments, are historically bad, regardless of what the agency's public relations emails might claim. If you make a mistake in your filing paperwork right now, your application doesn't just get delayed by a few days. It gets pushed to the back of a massive backlog, leaving you uninsured, missing critical prescriptions, and cancelling necessary surgeries. Here is the exact rule you must understand. If you or your spouse are actively working for an employer with 20 or more employees, and you have creditable health insurance through that active employment, you do not have to sign up for Medicare Part B at age 65. You can defer it. But the clock starts ticking the absolute second that active employment ends or that specific health coverage ends, whichever happens first. When that happens, you are granted a special enrollment period that lasts exactly 8 months. If you miss that 8-month window, you will face a permanent lifetime late enrollment penalty of 10% added to your premium for every full 12-month period you could have had Part B but didn't, and you will have to wait for the general enrollment period to sign up, leaving you dangerously uninsured. To use this special enrollment period, you cannot just click a button online. You must provide the Social Security Administration with explicit proof that you had qualifying employer coverage. This requires 2 specific forms, and you must submit them together. The first is Form CMS 40B, which is the application for enrollment in Medicare Part B. The second, and most critical, is Form CMS L564, which is the request for employment information. Form L564 must be filled out and signed by the Human Resources Department of the employer that provided your health insurance, proving to the government that you maintained continuous coverage. Here is the urgent warning for August 2026. Do not wait until month 7 of your 8-month window to file these forms. Because of the current processing delays, if you file late in your window, your coverage will not be active by the time you need it. If you lost your job last week, or you are retiring at the end of this month, get Form L564 to your employer immediately. Once signed, take both Form 40B and Form L564 directly to your local Social Security office in person. Do not mail them where they can sit in a scanning facility for weeks. Do not trust the online portal if you need coverage to start immediately. Walk into the office, tell the guard you have a time-sensitive special enrollment period application for Medicare, and hand the physical, signed forms to a representative so they are date-stamped and processed into the system while you watch. Here is the summary by group. If you receive SSI, your August payment is arriving early on Friday, July 31st. It is your normal payment of up to $994, not a bonus, so budget it for the entire month. If you use a Direct Express card, verify whether you are still on the Comrica network or if you have been switched to Fifth Third Bank, and ensure you are using the correct mobile app for your specific card. If you are facing eviction and waiting on delayed benefits, go to your local office in person, state you have a dire need, and request an emergency advance payment, which will likely be issued on a new debit card. And if you recently lost employer health coverage, you have an 8-month special enrollment period. Secure Form CMS L564 from your employer and Form CMS 40B immediately, and file them in person to avoid being caught in catastrophic processing delays. Subscribe, share this with someone you know who's in one of these groups, and I'll see you in the next one.